working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello, Malma Angeles. Welcome to ASEAN in Focus. Joining me today is from our EBC Thailand Bureau, Aaron.
Hello, I'm Aaron Du Calleja from your EBC Thailand Bureau, bringing you the news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines. Demonstrations held across Indonesia against the controversial new law on labor turned violent as protesters clash with police.
OFW warned versus illegal recruiters amid pandemic. The Philippine Overseas Employment Administration POEA Administrator Bernard Olalia on Wednesday warned the overseas Filipino workers against illegal recruiters, particularly those engaged in the third country recruitment.
Thank you for all.
And Secretary Francisco Duque III of the Department of Health was elected as the new chairman of the World Health Organization Regional Committee for Western Pacific during the virtual opening of the 71st Committee session on October 6.
And create indeed.
Demonstrations held across Indonesia against a controversial new law on labor turned violent as protesters clashed with police. Critics fear the new law will favor investors at the expense of labor rights and the environment. Take a look.
Mengambil ada beberapa anak-anak muda yang diamankan. Nah, pada saat memutar di sini, tahu-tahu ada beberapa kelompok anak muda sekitar 100-an menyerang, mengadang, kemudian langsung kembalikan. Sudah diimbau untuk mereka menghindar, tetapi tetap tidak digubris.
Passed into law, President Joko Widodo's Omnibus Job Creation Bill late on Monday. The bill revised more than 70 existing laws to speed up economic reform and improve the investment climate in Southeast Asia's largest economy. The government hopes the bill, which aims to cut red tape by amending dozens of existing laws covering taxation, labor, and environment regulations, will attract foreign investment at a time when the economy is reeling from the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. According to a draft version of the bill, mandatory paid leave for childbirth, weddings, bereavement will be scrapped, as will menstrual leave for women. Work overtime will be increased to 4 hours a day. Mandatory severance benefits paid by employers will be reduced from 32 times monthly wages to now 19 times monthly wages. The state will also pay 6 months' worth of wages to the person concerned. Human rights group Amnesty International called it catastrophic for workers, saying it would harm livelihoods and job security. Although enforcement is sometimes patchy, Indonesia has tough labor laws, particularly involving foreign companies. Indonesia is facing a looming recession, with the economy shrinking 5.32% in the second quarter this year due to the coronavirus. More than 11,000 people have died so far, with at least 300,000 infected. Secretary Francisco Duque III of the Department of Health was elected as the new chairman of the World Health Organization Regional Committee for Western Pacific. Now, this was during the virtual opening of the 71st Committee session last October 6th. Take a look. In his tweet on Wednesday, Secretary Duque said he will serve a term of 1 year, and this year will focus on driving forward implementation for the future vision in the time of COVID-19 as we work together to adjust to a new normal and create a new future. The committee, representing 37 member states, meets annually to formulate policies, provide oversight for regional programs, report on the progress of their projects, and consider, revise, and endorse new initiatives, resolutions, and decisions adopted during the session will guide the work of the regional and country offices for 2021. The agenda this year includes COVID-19 vaccine, preventable diseases and immunization, aging and health, safe and affordable surgical interventions, and the program budget for 2022 to 2023. In his remarks to the Regional Committee, WHO Regional Director for the Western Pacific, Dr. Takeshi Kasai, congratulated the newly elected chair. Honorable Secretary Francisco Duque, let's listen in.
I would like to extend my warm welcome, especially to the new minister who joined us first time. Congratulations to the chairperson, Secretary Duque from the Philippines. Secretary, really thank you very much for taking up this important role in these difficult times. We all know that you have so many other demands on your time. So again, really thank you very much.
RD Kasai, the circumstances in which we meet this year are very different from last year when we came together to endorse the For the Future vision. Thank you for all your work to continue driving forward implementation of that vision in the time of COVID-19 as we work together to adjust to a new normal and create indeed a new future.
Now, joining Duque, or Secretary Duque, and representing the Philippines are DOH Secretaries Mario C. Villaverde, Myrna C. Cabotaje, Food and Drug Administration Director General Rolando Enrique Domingo, Directors Maria Soledad, Antonio, Napoleon Arevalo, Francis Rol Mamaril, Dr. Ana Melissa Guerrero, and Dr. Celia Carlos of the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. Representatives of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Director Emma Sarne, Michelle Jayag, and Kevin Mark Gomez were also part of the Philippine delegation.
In Maldives, the state of public health emergency extended until November 5. Stephanie De Jos joins us live from our EBC Maldives Bureau. Stephanie?
Hi, Aren. Yes, that's the latest news for today. According to the edition, state of public health emergency has been extended until November 5 due to COVID-19 pandemic, announced by Acting Minister of Health Mohamed Aslam. The government has now stretched the public emergency for over 7 months. In a Gazette resolution, the extension is based on the Council of Health Protection Agency Director General of Public Health, Maimuna Abubakuru. This is due to the fact that the local transmission is still being detected. Thus, implementation of measures to ensure the safety and health of the public is still imposed. Maldives has now a total of 10,567 cases, wherein 1,099 are active cases, and 34 deaths as of October 6. Authorities tightened safety measures in Mali region last month because of alarming surge of COVID-19 cases after efforts were initiated to steer the country in the new normal after easing lockdown restrictions. The number of recoveries saw a significant rise to 89.2% in September, and active cases has lowered to 2 digits. But despite of this, HPA caused the citizen to follow measures to curb the spread of the virus, cautioning against sentiments that it has been controlled. And that's the latest news for today. Back to you, Aren.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for that wonderful update. And now, let's get the latest news, weather, and coronavirus update from Thailand. Here's Faye Barte, our Thailand Bureau.
All right, we'll get back with our EBC bureaus right after this news. The Department of Foreign Affairs on Wednesday reported 2 new recoveries among Filipinos who contracted the coronavirus disease abroad, with the total reaching 6,905. It also logged 6 new cases and 1 new death, raising the COVID tally to 10,849 and the death toll to 800. Now, with the recoveries and COVID-19 fatalities removed from the total case count, there are now 3,144 active cases among overseas Filipinos. At least 499 are undergoing treatment in the Asia Pacific, 167 in Europe, 2,312 in the Middle East, Africa, and 166 in the Americas. To date, there are 80 countries and regions with confirmed cases among Filipinos, with a new report from an additional country in the Middle East. The DFA didn't identify the state. Meanwhile, Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, or POEA Administrator Bernard Olalia, warned the overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, against illegal recruiters, particularly those engaged in third country recruitment. He said, quote, they should validate the invitation at our polos, labor attaché, embassy, and also check it at our website at www.poea.gov.ph. They should know the identities of those who are recruiting them. If they were asked to pay placement fee, they should have doubts that they are being victimized by illegal recruiters. Now, Olalia also said unscrupulous individuals or groups are using the pandemic to entice Filipino workers abroad by offering higher salaries. He said illegal recruiters are using different social media platforms in offering supposedly high-paying jobs to Filipinos employed overseas. Olalia advised the Filipinos abroad to always check, validate the invitation at any Philippine labor office, labor attachés, Philippine embassies. Aside from validating the invitation, he said the OFW should also be aware on who is or are those recruiting them.
ASEAN in Focus will be back after the short break.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. Open for Business, from vision to action.
And we're back at ASEAN in Focus. Now, let's get the latest weather and coronavirus update here in Thailand. Here's Faith Barte, our Thailand EBC.
Good afternoon, Aaron, and good afternoon to all our viewers. It's a rainy Thursday here in Thailand, and I have here the weather announcement from the Director General of the Thai Meteorological Department. So they are saying this, that they have the Category 1. Aaron, the Category 1 indicates that there is an active low pressure cell over the south of Vietnam and western of Cambodia. However, it will be affected here in Thailand because it will have a slow movement going to the eastern part of Thailand into the upper Gulf of Thailand on October 8 and October 9. Isolated heavy rainfalls and strong wind will be possible for the lower northeast, the east, the central, including here in Bangkok and its vicinity. People are advised also to have the cautions and beware of severe rains that may cause flash floods and water runoff, included, and beware of strong wind also. They are also advising all ships in these areas should proceed with caution and keep ashore from 8 to 10 of October. Residents along shoreline are advised to watch for inshore surf also. And the wind waves in the Andaman Sea and the upper Gulf of Thailand become strong with the waves of 2 to 4 meters high in the areas and more than 4 meters high in thunder showers. Back to you, Aaron.
Thank you so much, Faye, for that wonderful update. So be careful always and always bring your umbrella.
Yes, we are going to be safe always here because sudden flooding will happen and it really happens during the rush hours. Thank you very much, Aaron. This is Faye Barte. We live in interesting times.
Southeast Asian countries need to invest $3.1 trillion for a climate-adjusted infrastructure in the region by 2030 to recover from the pandemic. That is according to a new report from the ADB, or Asian Development Bank. In an online report of the Business Mirror, the ADB report titled Green Finance Strategies for Post-COVID-19 Economic Recovery in Southeast Asia, it said that the investments are needed to develop and grow green economies and create jobs for around 650 million people. ADB Vice President Ahmed M. Said, who will speak at the forum on October 9, said, quote, "A green recovery for Southeast Asia is needed to encourage long-term, sustainable job creation in a region with more than 650 million people," unquote. The report also said over half of the plastic entering the world's oceans can be traced back to 5 growing economies, 4 of which are from Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, all in Southeast Asia. It also noted that Myanmar, the Philippines, and Thailand and Vietnam ranked in the top 10 countries most affected by extreme weather due to climate change in the last 20 years, according to the Global Climate Risk Index. The Philippines, ADB noted, has embarked on the Green Program, which aims to provide 2.5 billion pesos in assistance to make 145 cities more livable and sustainable. The program is already part of the Build, the National Infrastructure Development Program of the Government of the Philippines.
Demand for petroleum products in the Philippines declined by 22.8% in the past half of the year due to the reduced economic activity because of the travel restrictions imposed by the government. Based on the data released by the Department of Energy, or DOE, on Wednesday, demand for petroleum products reached 10.794 billion liters from 13.978 billion liters in the same period a year ago. This can be translated to an average daily requirement of 59.3 million liters compared with the last year's level of 72.2 million liters. The demand for diesel, which makes up of 25.3% of the product's demand mix, plunged by 21.3% due to 0.465 billion liters. Gasoline demand also fell by 20.2% to 2.72 billion liters. Similarly, demands for aviation fuel dropped by 40.8%. Likewise, kerosene, fuel oil, LPG also went down by 29.3% to 24.1% and 4.6% respectively.
A top executive at a Singapore firm seeking to buy Newcastle United has quit after police launched a probe into his activities, according to the company on Wednesday, the latest turmoil for the bid. Belagraph Nova Group, founded by 2 Singaporean entrepreneurs and a Chinese business partner, announced in August it was in advanced talks to buy the English Premier League team. But the bid became mired in controversy over allegations that photos had been doctored to show the trio meeting with former U.S. President Barack Obama and other inconsistent claims. Police then began investigating a company linked to Singaporean co-founders Terence and Nelson Law after an accounting firm lodged a report over unauthorized signatures on the group's financial statements. BN Group said in a statement that Terence Law has now quit the firm to try and resolve the issues related to the police probe into Novena Global Healthcare. Singapore Straits Times newspaper previously reported that he denied wrongdoing. The statement also stressed that BN Group is not linked to Novena Global Healthcare and its forged financial statements. Despite growing doubts about the bid, the firm's Chinese co-founder, Evangeline Shen, insisted last week BN Group was still serious about the plan. She said the company's team recently met a representative of Newcastle's owner to discuss the bid, reported to be worth £280 million or $360 million US.
Government reviews policies and puts forward more proposals to support workers and businesses affected by the pandemic. Here's Micah Gwinnett Apostol from our EVC Vietnam Bureau. Micah.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hello.
Here's the latest news from Vietnam. The government has put forward policy proposals and issued a number of policies in support of businesses and people affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. According to VGP, policy proposals and a number of policies has been put by the government of Vietnam to support the public affected by COVID-19 pandemic. 4 resolutions for policy proposals to legislature has been submitted to the National Assembly by the government. These are as follows. Number 1, extension of time limit for agricultural land use tax exemption. Number 2 is reduction in corporate income tax payable in 2020 for enterprises, cooperatives, and other organizations. Number 3, adjustments of personal income relief tax rates. And number 4, amending and supplementing environment protection tariffs. For government policies, since April, resolutions for deferring value-added tax payments took place on 8th of April. Deadline for payments that are due to March to June is extended in 5 months. This benefits enterprises, households, and individuals in agroforestry, fisheries sector, manufacturing, and construction. Resolution for supporting production and business activities was promulgated by the government in May. Reduction in interest rates by 2% for direct loans and 50% reduction of registration fees for domestically manufactured cars for stimulating domestic consumption. Policy for financial assistance to people affected by pandemic has been signed by Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc since April for contractual employees and whose income near poverty level. Back to you, Aaron.
Thank you so much for that wonderful update in Vietnam. Thank you, Mika.
Thank you. Reporting live from Da Nang, Vietnam, this is Micah Gwinnett Apostol. We live in interesting times.
A North Korean man accused of laundering money lost a legal bid to halt his extradition from Malaysia to the U.S. to face charges Thursday, but will lodge a final appeal. Moon Chong-yong, who was lived in the Southeast Asian country for a decade with his family, was arrested last year following the extradition request from Washington. He denies FBI claims that he led a criminal group that violates sanctions by supplying prohibited items to North Korea and laundered funds through fund companies, according to his lawyers. A Malaysian court in December approved his extradition, but Moon challenged the move at the Kuala Lumpur High Court. His lawyers argued his detention was unlawful as the allegations against him were of a political in nature. But a judge rejected the argument, saying procedures were correctly followed and Moon failed to prove the extradition bid was politically charged. His lawyer said he would lodge a final appeal at Malaysia's top court.
China would not have exclusive access to a Cambodian naval base, according to Prime Minister Hun Sen on Wednesday, despite Beijing chipping in for upgrades after a U.S.-funded facility was raised at the site last month. The Ream base is strategically located in the Gulf of Thailand, providing ready access to the fiercely contested South China Sea, a key global shipping route. Beijing claims the majority of the resource-rich sea, vying with 6 other countries. Satellite images released by a Washington-based think tank last week showed a U.S.-funded tactical naval headquarters on Cambodia's southern coast had been demolished. An American embassy spokesman told AFP on Wednesday that the U.S. was disappointed by the move, adding that the base had been a sign of U.S.-Cambodia relations and was only 7 years old. The Wall Street Journal last year reported on a secret draft deal allowing China to dock warships at the Ream base. The Cambodian government in June denied this and maintained its foreign policy was independent. Cambodia said the facility was simply being relocated about 30 kilometers north of Ream as it had outgrown the former site. Hun Sen has repeatedly insisted Cambodia's constitution forbids any foreign military base within its borders.
The Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, or POEA, on Wednesday said around 10,000 healthcare workers left the country to work abroad since the start of the year. POEA Administrator Bernard Olalia said the health workers, particularly nurses, are balik manggagawa who went home for the Christmas vacation. Olalia said the government-to-government hired overseas Filipino workers are also allowed to report to their employers abroad. He said nurses and other healthcare workers are allowed to work abroad as long as they have contracts signed as of August 31. President Rodrigo Duterte earlier approved the POEA proposal to extend the exemption period from March 8 to August 31 for healthcare workers from the temporary deployment ban to allow those who have been already spent to have their documents the chance to get their money's worth. Duterte has yet to make a decision on the total lifting of the deployment ban due to the threat of the coronavirus disease 2019. Malacanang said that the new record high of 30.7% hunger incidence among Filipino families from July to September this year was a sad development, but it is only temporary. Policy spokesperson Harry Roque attributed the new record high of hunger incidence in the country was due to the lockdown and community quarantine protocols implemented by the government to prevent further spread of the COVID-19 in the past few months.
Tumaas po talaga ang pagkagutom, tumaas po yung malnourishment ng ating mga kabataan. At ito po ang dahilan niya kung bakit hinikayat nga po niya ang buong gobyerno na buksan palalo ang ating ekonomiya at importante na bigyan ng katugunan yung kawalan ng transportasyon. At ito pong dahilan kung bakit nagpatawag po ang Presidente ng full cabinet meeting sa susunod na Lunes po, alas 4 ng hapon, para i-discuss pa po itong mga opsyon para lalo pang buksan ng ekonomiya at bigyan ng kasagutan yung kawalan ng transportasyon.
The UN refugee chief said that he had tested positive for COVID-19 after leading the first day of the agency's main annual meeting in person. Filippo Grande, who kicked off UNHCR's week-long executive committee meeting in Geneva on Monday, told participants via video link that he would need to continue following the event from home. He said, "I am engaging with UNHCR's executive committee from home as I have to isolate after testing positive to #COVID-19, he said in a tweet. He added, "I only have mild symptoms and hope to recover soon." Grandi had addressed delegates from the podium in the UN Assembly Hall in Geneva on the first day of the event, but participated remotely on Tuesday. UNHCR's Executive Committee is for the first time being held as a hybrid event this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, the head of the World Health Organization is offering a glimmer of hope during this pandemic. Let's listen in.
The most important thing now is
investing in or using all the tools at hand. And many countries have shown that with the tools we have, they were able to suppress and control the pandemic. But at the same time, we have to invest in new technology, and that's why we launched the ACT Accelerator. We will need vaccines, and there is hope that by the end of this year, we may have a vaccine.
9 experimental vaccines are in the pipeline of the WHO-led COVAX Global Vaccine Facility. More than 60 wealthy nations have joined the WHO-backed program to facilitate poor countries' access to coronavirus vaccines. ASEAN in Focus, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Robin, and I'm 5 years old. My mom and dad said many people are getting sick. That is why we have to stay at home. That is why I cannot go to school. I cannot play outside, and I cannot even visit my friends. We can only go outside if we visit the doctor, or if we need to buy some food. And when we get home, we have to wash our hands. While I'm at home, I do my homework, clean up my toys, help cooking our food, and help my parents with their work. Please stay home so we can all play together again. Bye!
I'm Nikki Fakal Arsena. Abangan niyo po ako and the rest of the Barkada and your favorite OPM artists on Letters and Music. Prime time na! Mula Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. only on Net 25. See you!
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. Open for Business, from vision to action.
Mga kababayan, tulad ng OFW, kasa at biyaya, ang gusto sa ibang bansa. Ang iba ay di swerte, bumalik ng walang wala. Hindi mo makikita. Masaya, tumawa ng tumawa, dapat laging masaya. Buhay ay gaganda. Okay, saya-saya, okay, saya-saya, tayong lahat ay masaya. Tumalong, sumigaw, kumanta, sumaya, tayong lahat kay saya-saya. Kumanta,
And now, welcome to the 5-star quarantine in Thailand, where well-heeled tourists can live in luxury while obeying some of the strictest anti-coronavirus measures implemented. At the Census Resort overlooking Phuket's Patong Bay, 16 villas have been specially prepared for quarantine guests.
Package including 3 meals a day, private car transfer from Phuket International Airport, a nurse is on call 24/7, and you will have the temperature check up twice a day. Also, COVID test will be take place on the day 5 and day 10. During the stay, the guest will not allow to leave the room until the quarantine program is finished.
Readers of the popular travel publication Condé Nast Traveler voted Cebu and other Visayas islands as top islands of Asia this year. CNT's 2020 Reader's Choice Award also ranked Palawan, Siargao, and Boracay Island as 4th, 5th, respectively, in the top 10 islands in Asia's list. El Nido Resort, Apulit Island, and Lagen Island likewise placed 18th and 23rd among the 30 resorts in Asia. Reacting to the country's latest tourism award amid the coronavirus pandemic, Tourist Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat said in the news statement, "The Philippines is indeed blessed with the best of nature as exhibited by the consecutive accolades we are receiving from reputable and prestigious publications for our islands and beaches." She said the latest citation from the CNTs give us in the Department of Tourism or DOT a boost of confidence as we continue to carry out our strategies to gradually reopen domestic tourism and once again welcome travelers from other countries where things become better. In its 33rd Reader's Choice Award, CNT invited 600,000 travelers to vote online for the top islands in 6 areas: Asia, Australia, and the South Pacific, the Caribbean and the Atlantic, Africa and the Indian Ocean, Europe, and North America.
Thank you so much for helping me out today.
Thank you so much, Alma, and it's a great privilege for having me a co-anchor again here.
Yes, and we'll wait for many more. How is Cristel and everybody doing there in Thailand? How is our bureau doing there in Thailand? Oh, there you go. Hello. Hello there. Hello, our EBC Thailand Bureau.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hello. Thank you for joining us for the last minute. Hello. So, how is everyone? Cristel, what are you doing right now? Are you off at work or?
I'm working behind the camera and doing other things.
Doing other things, assisting everybody in the bureau. So how is flights? Are your borders open already? Flights coming in? Tourists or mostly domestic?
the borders are still closed, Alma. Actually, the borders are closed again with regards to Myanmar and Thailand border, and as well as the Cambodia border. And so, from the reports that we have read before, and it is supposedly today that the 300 visitors from China will be coming in, but it was delayed.
Oh, so it's delayed. Okay.
It was delayed, yes. And these tourists are actually long-term staying tourists because Thailand is gearing up with long-term staying tourists.
Okay. What about Filipinos who want to come back for work? Can they do that now? Not yet.
They can do that, Alma, but the process is very long. So they need to have the certificate of entry from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they need to have like an insurance, something like that. So, and it's only a chartered flight because commercial flights are still not yet allowed here in Thailand.
And that's aside from the quarantine procedures they have to go through when they go to Thailand. That's right.
That's right.
And earlier, Faye was giving us the weather update. It was raining here earlier, actually. What about there, Faye? How are you doing? How are you doing with the weather?
Yeah, the weather, because here we were experiencing heavy rainfall here, and we were also experiencing sudden flooding. And you know, the thing there, Alma, is it happens when it is during the rush hour. So everybody wants to go home early. Everybody are very hungry. However, we are stuck on the road. Like we are stuck in the middle of the traffic. So, and the announcement earlier, it would be, the forecast would be like October 8 to October 9. So that would be Thursday and Friday. And Friday, we are expecting to have a heavy traffic again, and we're going home late again.
Yeah, I was going to ask about traffic. So traffic is still bad, even through the pandemic?
Yeah, it's a usual. It's a norm here. The traffic is a norm. So we are used to it. When we go home after work, the time would be like an hour. However, it will extend to like 3 hours or like 4 hours travel time, and we are used to it. However, we're having some crackers in our bag, and everything would be okay.
Thank you.
Just the sudden flooding would be a big problem for everybody.
Yes, I know. What about you, Aaron? How are you doing right now, aside from working for EBC and helping me out anchoring like the rest of us?
I'm a frontliner here.
He's a frontliner.
Oh, okay. So tell me, how is it now? Is it getting better? Can you let us know?
Yeah, in my hospital, because my hospital is one of the centers for COVID-19 here. So I think it's getting better. So the strict protocols before are not so strict as of today. And me as a sleep technologist, I mostly work at night. Okay. So I don't have any chance to encounter such patient in the morning.
Okay, that's good. Aside from COVID patients, you still do accept other health issues of patients coming?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Before, when the COVID-19 strikes or so, we have strict implementation. Some of the medical department are closed, but now all medical facilities are now open, accepting different kinds of patients like OPD, emergency, aesthetics. Already normal here in Thailand.
Okay, that's good to hear. Very good. And let me know when Philippine flights will open there in Thailand.
Yeah.
So good coming here.
We'll see. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for the last minute hello to everybody. Thank you. Thank you, EBC Thailand Bureau. I'm Alma Angeles, and all of us are... We live in interesting times.
Ang layunin ng UNLAD, Kaagapay sa Hanapbuhay, itong programang ito, sa pangunguna ng ating tagapamahalang pangkalahatan ng kapatid Waldo Manalo, ay masasabi nating 4 na layunin. Una ay akitin natin tao sa paghahanap buhay. Ang ikalawang layunin na ituro sa tao kung ano ang iba't ibang hanap